Search and destroy. Defend our supply lines at all costs. The front needs that ammunition. Regroup. Search and destroy. Demolish their ordnance and crush the enemy supply lines. We have the explosive. You're all we have left. Do not fail us. Regroup! Search and destroy! Defend our supply lines at all costs. The front needs that ammunition. You're all we have left. Do not fail us. Regroup! Search and destroy! Demolish their supply lines! You're all we have left. Do not fail us. We have the explosive. Explosive planted.
Oh god, look at that. Look at that. Oh my god, he did a flip. He did a full spin.
Search and destroy. Defend our supply lines at all costs. The front needs that ammunition.
My mans did a full spin.
It's up to you now. You are the last man.
Ooh, did him dirty. Choking some shots, but you know, it's all cool.
Good work. Prepare for the next advance. Search and destroy. Demolish their supply lines. You're all we have left. Do not fail us.
Oh
Have
shit.
explosive.
Wow, I couldn't 6-0 him. He clipped me. Like barely clipped me.
Search and destroy. Defend our supply lines at all costs. The front needs that ammunition.
Alright.
It's up to you. Fight to the last bullet.
Let's try to not let him come back. That would be great. He's probably gonna like sit and spawn, honestly. My man is trash using a light machine gun. That's crazy.
We carried the day.
What's that? Like game 1? 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 USS Texas, search and destroy a gun. I'm gonna try to 6-0 this kid. Cause you know what? Why not? What do I want to use?
Search and destroy.
Yeah, why not? Let's use the sniper again. Damn, what time is it, honestly?
Defend our supply lines at all costs.
It is 1:49. Oh, he's trash.
Regroup. Search and destroy. Demolish their supply lines. Explosive on the move. You're all that's left. Tread carefully. Explosive planted.
Dumbass. He took the bait.
Regroup. Search and destroy. Defend our supply lines at all costs. The front needs that ammunition. Regroup. Search and destroy. Demolish their ordnance and crush the enemy supply line. Explosive. You are all we have. Bring us victory. Regroup. Search and destroy. Defend our supply lines at all costs. The front needs that ammunition. we have. Bring us victory. Explosive cluster.
My kid is trash. Oh, welcome to the stream, guys. Playing some GBs.
Search and destroy. Demolish their supply line. Explosive on the move. You're all that's left. Tread carefully. Regroup. Search and destroy. Defend our supply lines at all costs. The front needs that ammunition. You are all we have. Bring us victory. Regroup. Search and destroy. Demolish their ordnance and crush the enemy supply lines. It's up to you. Fight to the last bullet. Regroup. Search and destroy. Defend our supply lines at all costs. The front needs that ammunition.
Ha, you're trash. Ooh, black scope.
Excellent work. Take pride in your accomplishment today.
That's a W for your kid.
Team deathmatch. Eliminate the enemy team. Line them up! Enemy recon aircraft observed. Bomb incoming! Get to cover!
Oh my god, this is boring.
Fall back. Retreat.
That was
Retreat.
so boring.
hard point. Enemy holds the hard point. Seize and defend the hard point. Seize and defend the hard point. Regroup. New hard point. Move out. Hard point is secure. Seize and defend the hard point. New hard point. Flush out the enemy. Hardpoint is getting overrun. Need reinforcements. Flamethrower available. Bomb mission underway. Hardpoint is in enemy hands. New hardpoint. Move out. Enemy holds the hardpoint. Hardpoint locked down. Seize and defend the hardpoint. Hardpoint is in enemy hands. New hardpoint. Move out. Hardpoint is getting overrun. Need reinforcements. Seize and defend the hardpoint. Hardpoint is getting overrun. Need reinforcements. Hardpoint is in enemy hands. Hardpoint locked down. Seize and defend the hardpoint. Seize and defend the hardpoint. Hardpoint location confirmed. Hardpoint in Allied hands. Hardpoint is in enemy hands. Hardpoint is secure. Hardpoint's getting overrun. Need reinforcements. Enemy holds the hardpoint. New hardpoint. Flush out the enemy. Enemy holds the hardpoint. Pull back. Prepare to counterattack.
In high school, I never understood going to school to skip class on campus. That made no sense to me. If you didn't want to go to school, stay home. I'd be in driver's ed class outside on the bleachers, look over and see kids skipping every single day, like literally skipping. La 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 la. And at my school, skipping was like a really big problem. So if you ever got caught, it's Saturday school or detention. Not worth it. I go to school and forget that I have a massive test that I didn't study for. So, bump it, I'm just gonna skip. And lately I've been getting a lot of subscribers from England, Australia, and Canada. I don't know how schooling works over there. At my school, we had 3 lunches and 1 long class that you just stay in for that whole time until it's your lunch. And I had the last lunch, so all I need to do is skip class for the first 2 lunches, and then we Gucci. So I'm standing in the hall thinking about this, and then the late bell rings, so I'm just like, okay, well, it's now or never. And over by art and photography, there's these bathrooms that are single-stalled that I always smell wacky tobacco coming out of. First bell will ring. So kids start going into the lunchroom, and I'm thinking to myself, I could hide in here for an hour. Or I could be a fatty and eat at all 3 lunches. And if you've seen any of my Instagram stories or my Snapchat stories, you already can know which one of these I picked. I had my main squad, Willie and Bandit, in high school, but I'd also squad hops. I was cool with the Jamaicans, the goth kids, the nerds, the popular kids. Okay, I wasn't really friends with the popular kids, but you get the idea. I'd never been to this first lunch. It had a completely different vibe. But please believe, I was chilling with my Asians over there like... Bell rings, everybody starts leaving the lunchroom. I start heading back to my bathrooms, and there's an administrator blocking it. So my new mission objective is to find a new bathroom, and then I'll just come out for a second lunch. Boom, we good. And now the administrators are watching all the kids going into the classrooms. I don't got no class over on this side of the building, so I walk outside, and I'm acting like I'm going to another building, and then I hear, hey! Did you hear anything? I didn't hear anything. I'm just going to walk this way now. Then I hear her say, hey, you stop! And then I ran. If you ever run from administrators, that's 3 days suspension. I sprint for like 30 seconds, and I thought I lost her. Look over my shoulder, and she was right there like... I'm 16 and a half years old, and you're like 70. How you keeping up with me? I ain't going back to jail. I did my nickel. I ain't going back. I'm guessing a lot of kids ran from her, because I felt like John Connor being chased by the T-1000. So I'm zigzagging, running around corners. I find a bathroom, boom, kick open the door. There's 10 other dudes in this boy's bathroom looking like refugees, all skipping, waiting for their next lunch. So there's like a 10-minute window between when lunch gets out and the next lunch starts. So I just have to not get caught before that next bell rings. So I'm chilling in the bathroom, and then I hear the double doors at the end of the hall open, and then I start hearing heels. None of these dudes know what's going down, so I run into a stall. Thank God there was nobody in it. We're in a boy's bathroom. She can't come in here, right? So the heels keep getting louder and louder, and then she gets to the door and cracks it open, and she goes, I know you're in there. Nobody says a word. If you come out now, it's not gonna be that much of a punishment. But if you make me go and get a male administrator, everybody in here is getting suspended. I'm dripping sweat. Sweat is coming out of my booty cheeks right now. My mom is from the Caribbean. I know if she finds out I ran from an administrator and got suspended, she's gonna beat me with a fridge. So once she threatens she's gonna get another administrator, one guy cracks and he comes out. Is anybody else in there? Yeah. So then another kid who's always in trouble, we'll just call him Dre. Dre is like, forget it, whatever, I'm in here too. Who else is in there? You better not cover for anybody. So he walks back in, and like, Dre is cool. He ain't gonna snitch. You, and just rats with no hesitation. And then he starts walking out, and she's like, is there anybody else? Oh, let me check the stalls real quick. What the H? Dre? I hear him open up the other stall. You, out. He opens up my stall, and she was like, is there anybody else in there? And he looks me dead in my eye, and he goes, nah. I said it's all clear, ain't nobody else in here. Me and Dre never even talked. We have gym class together. And I never said 2 words. That was the last time I ever skipped class. Ever.
Nah. You didn't ride on my man's hell nah. Hey, nah.
To skip class on campus. That makes no sense to me. If you don't want to go to school, stay home. I'd be in driver's ed class outside on the bleachers, look over and see kids skipping every single day, like literally skipping. La 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 la. And at my school, skipping was like a really big problem. So if you ever got caught, it's Saturday school or detention. Not worth it. I go to school and forget that I have a massive test that I didn't study for. So bump it, I'm just gonna skip. And lately I've been getting a lot of subscribers from England, Australia, and Canada. I don't know how schooling works over there. At my school, we had 3 lunches and 1 long class that you just stay in for that whole time until it's your lunch. And I had the last lunch, so all I need to do is skip class for the first 2 lunches, and then we Gucci. So I'm staying in the hall thinking about this, and then the late bell rings, so I'm just like, okay, well, it's now or never. And over by art and photography, there's these bathrooms that are single-stalled that I always smell wacky tobacco coming out of. So I walk over there, and there's an open stall. I go in, I hide, and then I wait for the first bell to ring. So kids start going into the lunchroom, and I'm thinking to myself, I could hide in here for an hour. Or I could be a fatty and eat at all 3 lunches. And if you've seen any of my Instagram stories or my Snapchat stories, you already can know which one of these I picked. I had my main squad, Willie and Bandit, in high school, but I'd also squad hopped. I was cool with the Jamaicans, the goth kids, the nerds, the popular kids. Okay, I wasn't really friends with the popular kids, but you get the idea. I'd never been to this first lunch. It had a completely different vibe. But please believe, I was chilling with my Asians over there like everybody starts leaving the lunchroom. I start heading back to my bathrooms, and there's an administrator blocking it. So my new mission objective is to find a new bathroom, and then I'll just come out for a second lunch. Boom, we good. And now the administrators are watching all the kids going into the classrooms. I don't got no class over on this side of the building, so I walk outside, and I'm acting like I'm going to another building, and then I hear, hey! Did you hear anything? I didn't hear anything. I'm just going to walk this way now. Then I hear her say, hey, you stop! And then I ran. If you ever run from administrators, that's 3-day suspension. I sprint for like 30 seconds, and I thought I lost her. Look over my shoulder, and she was right there like... I'm 16 and a half years old, and you're like 70. How you keeping up with me? I ain't going back to jail. I did my nickel. I ain't going back. I'm guessing a lot of kids ran from her, because I felt like John Connor being chased by the T-1000. So I'm zigzagging, running around corners. I find a bathroom, boom, kick open the door. There's 10 other dudes in this boy's bathroom looking like refugees, all skipping, waiting for the next lunch. So there's like a 10-minute window between when lunch gets out and the next lunch starts. So I just have to not get caught before that next bell rings. So I'm chilling in the bathroom, and then I hear the double doors at the end of the hall open, and then I start hearing heels. None of these dudes know what's going down, so I run into a stall. Thank God there was nobody in it. We're in a boy's bathroom. She can't come in here, right? So the heels keep getting louder and louder, and then she gets to the door and cracks it open, and she goes, I know you're in there. Nobody says a word. If you come out now, it's not gonna be that much of a punishment. But if you make me go and get a male administrator, everybody in here is getting suspended. I'm dripping sweat. Sweat is coming out of my booty cheeks right now. My mom is from the Caribbean. I know if she finds out I ran from an administrator and got suspended, she's gonna beat me with a fridge. So once she threatens she's gonna get another administrator, one guy cracks and he comes out. Is anybody else in there? Yeah. So then another kid who's always in trouble, we'll just call him Dre. Dre's like, forget it, whatever, I'm in here too. Who else is in there? You better not cover for anybody. So he walks back in, and like Dre is cool. He ain't gonna snitch. You, and just rats with no hesitation. And then he starts walking out, and she's like, is there anybody else? Oh, let me check the stalls real quick. What the H, Dre? I hear him open up the other stall. You and you, out. He opens up my stall, and she was like, is there anybody else in there? And he looks me dead in my eye, and he goes, nah. I said it's all clear, ain't nobody else in here. Me and Dre never even talked. We have gym class together. And I never said 2 words to this dude. Needless to say, that was the last time I ever skipped class. Ever. Don't you just love getting into arguments with your friends. We're having a civilized conversation, talking all normal, and all of a sudden people start talking like this. And why can't we always think of the best comebacks for an argument the day after the argument is over? And I know you've had people try to suck you into those pointless arguments, like if aliens exist, or if the Illuminati is real. Like, what are you gonna do with the rest of your day that you weren't gonna already do, knowing the aliens are real? Because at the end of it, you're gonna believe what you believe, I'm gonna believe what I believe, but now you wanna fight. And believe me, you don't want this problem. I beat Smash Brothers on hard mode. You don't want this problem, trust. And I seen Matrix 99 times. Today, you don't want this problem. Speaking of Matrix, I got in an argument one time with my girlfriend over Matrix. Her favorite thing was racism. If we were out eating and the table next to us got their food first, racism. She's playing a game online and she loses, racism. So I'm at her house one day and she busts out with, Hollywood is full of racism. Even your precious movie, Matrix, is full of racism. And see, I am well-versed in anything that I like, so don't come at me and try my life. Well, what you don't know is the directors of Matrix stole the idea from a black lady, and she won in court. However, it's not some symbolic racism poke. And her aunts, uncles, and cousins were all at the house, and if you pull me into an argument, be very, very careful, because 9 times out of 9, I already have evidence to prove you wrong, but I'm gonna let you dig your hole deeper and deeper. Low-key, I'm over here Birdman hand rub, because I'm about to drop a bomb on all these turkeys. Neo's supposed to be Jesus. Guess who they got to play Neo? Keanu. Racism. You just don't see it because you're an Uncle Tom, Adonde. And I love when they start making personal attacks on you. What, anyways, so yeah, I let them go on like this for like 15 or 20 minutes, and then I dropped, oh yeah? Matrix is racist? Guess who was one of the first people they offered the role of Neo to? Will Flipping Smith. Boom! Drop the mic. Who's your daddy? Me.
Oh my god.
About how he got the role, and he turned it down. This other time, I was in an Uber with my friend, and I don't know how we got on the topic, but then they said, yeah, when you die, it was your time to go. So I'm like, yeah, but no. There's no such thing as accidental death. When it's your time, it's your time. And sometimes when people sense during a debate that their argument is flimsy, they'll get all personal for no reason. Well, when I was a little kid, people broke into my house. They put a gun to my head and a knife in my mouth. But then they let me go because it wasn't my time. Okay, that's nice that they let you go. And I'm sure you're a big fan of the Final Destination movies, but I don't think death is on some schedule and they look at the calendar like, oh, time to kill him. When it's your time to die, it's your time to go. No exceptions. So you're saying death is predetermined on a time schedule and there's no exceptions? Okay, what if we're speeding along in this Uber and I open the door and jump out and the car behind us runs me over? Does that mean it was my time? If that's how you see things, cool. I disagree with your theory, and I'm gonna look down at my phone now. And the worst part about all this is when you lose friendships, just because you don't see things the way they see things. First, that's not smart. Surrounding yourself with like-minded people, that's great. But think of the benefits by having a few people around who don't think like you. That's all I'm saying.
Is here. It's Kids Bop 37 with some of today's biggest hits, sung by kids for kids. Listen to Kids Bop 37 on Spotify now.
I was showing my boy, and he was like, hey, I saw your Raising Kids Weird on Purpose video, and you know it's not how it's going to work, right? Whatever you want your kids to be into, they're going to want to do the opposite. It doesn't matter what it is. I was like, that sucks for them, because if one day I'm like, hey, kids, let's watch anime, and they go, anime sucks, I'm going to have to drive them to the mall and leave them there. From Trinidad and from the islands, we don't know that world. We don't have a choice. My mom wanted me to learn piano when I was little. Guess who took piano lessons for 8 years? 8 years. I'm over at my white friend's house, and they're calling their parents by first name. Their mom will walk in. David, how many times did I tell you, clean your room before friends come over? Dang it, Susan, what the F? How many times have I told you, stay out of my flipping room? Let me try something like that. My mom would not let me get the second syllable out of my mouth. Adonde, clean your room. Oh, yeah? Well, that... Natasha wins. Fatality. Flawless victory. That's how that would go down. Not all my white friends would talk to their parents like that. But even now, I'll be chilling with my friends, and their mom or dad will call me, look at the caller ID, and be like, oh. And I started wondering, like, why does that happen? Like, they're not fighting with their parents. They're not mad at their parents. And then I caught myself a little while ago doing this, and I started wondering, like, why is that attitude associated with our parents? I think it's internally we start bottling up all the times that our parents have ever annoyed us, and we just put it in a certain compartment in our brain, not really doing the same for ourselves. You know how many times when I was little, my dad would be like, all right, I'm ready, go pee before we leave. I don't even have to pee. 15 minutes later, we're on the road, and I'm looking up at my dad like, I have to use the bathroom. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all were like me.
Is that Dondi? Thorn? Yes, that's me.
You know how many times I've stolen stuff from the grocery store? My mom would finish shopping, we're in the car driving home. My mom turned around like, where did you get that Butterfingers from? One day, my grandmother got me so mad, I wrote her a letter with 3 words on it. F you, Grandma. And I never just the letter F. It was the whole word. There was no blurred mosaic on it. It was the full word. I left it on her bed, and I was out. My grandmother found it. She started dying of laughter. But my mom, she was so mad. She was like, Adonde! I'm so mad. I don't even know what to do to you right now. Granted, there are some pretty crappy parents out there in the world. My friend Colleen, her mom got 6 credit cards underneath Colleen's name, maxed them all out, and crashed Colleen's credit. That's a crappy mom. I think at a certain point we all start taking our parents for granted, but there was one thought that really resonated with me. My mom called me one day, I was getting ready to start rolling my eyes, and I thought, you know what? This lady is instrumental to my existence. If not for her, I wouldn't even be here right now. No boyfriend, no girlfriend, no regular friend should be more important or more of a priority than your parents. I know, crazy, right? Because honestly, our parents didn't have to have us. And even after they did, it would have been very easy for them to just pull up somewhere, be like, peace, and bounce. I don't know, just something to keep in mind next time your parents are being annoying AF.
Let me ask you something. Do you think your car insurance rate is fair? See, here's how insurance works. The premiums you pay go into a pool of money that covers expenses.
Just want to go on record and say, cheating gets you nowhere in life. Only time I've ever cheated was in high school. And by high school, I mean middle school, and maybe college, and my taxes, and on my driving test. Other than that, I never do it. My senior year, we had this teacher who didn't want to grade any of our tests. After each test, she would tell us to pass it to our neighbor. She would say all the answers out loud, we grade it, and then pass it back. I understood math perfectly until they started adding the alphabet to it. Like, is this a test, or were we supposed to memorize PlayStation cheat codes? Oh, okay, I didn't know we were being tested on Madden formations. Finish the test, trade with my neighbor. She gets 6 of them wrong. What's her name? Crystal? Okay. Hand the test back. Hey, yo, Crystal, I know you don't know me, but you got number 9 and number 10 wrong, but I wrote in the right answers for you. You know what I mean? Next test. I intentionally leave 2 answers blank. Pass them over to Crystal, grade Crystal's test, get my test back. I filled in the 2 answers that you left blank. Y'all already know what we doing for the rest of the semester. I've been out here getting this paper. Then one day, I'm sitting in 4th period. Lady comes over to intercom. Yes, Mr. Richardson, can you send at a day? What does that say?
I think it's just a donkey.
Can you send a donkey, Thornay, To the administration office, please? And all the kids are looking at me like, oh, snap, Adonde's a thug. And I'm like, I've been out here getting this paper. Yes, I'm about that thug lifestyle. I woke up in jail once. No big deal. As soon as I step outside, I'm like, I'm so scared. I get over to see my administrator. Bad news, Adonde, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're probably not going to graduate at the end of the semester. And I'm thinking, crap, somebody ratted on me for cheating. But I acted dumb, so I was like, what do you mean? Every senior needs to pass American history in order to graduate and walk. You're failing. The only way to pass is if you do really well on the final exam. I didn't even know I was failing this class. This American history teacher, Mr. Abatello, had a huge reputation around school for failing seniors, but that ain't about to be me. I've been out here getting this paper. Do you know what I mean? So then I get the idea to do something totally crazy, booty butt backwards. What if, now this is the big what if I actually study for the final? Like, it's like cheating, but I'm hiding the answers in my brain. My administrator called me back into his office like a week or two later. Just wanted to check in with you and let you know that we don't give out report cards until after graduation, but if you don't pass Mr. Abatello's class, you can't walk. So after you take your final, come see me. Mr. Abatello's gonna let me know if you passed or not. I go to Mr. Abatello's class, he starts telling us what parts of the book to study. I study my booty off. See, parents from the Caribbean, when they get mad, they rage blackouts and grab whatever's closest to them, and they just start swinging. Let me come home saying some junk about having to repeat my senior year. Bet money I get beat with a coffee table from IKEA. Day of the final, I get the test, and you know when you start taking a test, you start going through it really quickly, and you skip the questions you don't know. Like, I get to this, okay, pass, okay, pass. I realized I got to the last question. I had skipped 80% of the questions. I didn't want to have to do it, but I'm gonna have to cheat. I look up at Mr. Abatello's desk just to make sure the clear is coast. Dude is cold, locked, staring at me. I fill out those answers to the best of my ability, and when it was time for me to go see my administrator, I just couldn't do it. So you know what I did instead? Went to graduation rehearsals like a boss, and then I took it up to CEO status, and then went to graduation having no idea if I actually passed American history. I get up on that stage, I'm about to walk, and I make eye contact with my administrator. He's like, You know when you get like really scared about something, you start making deals with God, like, please, Jesus in heaven, if you let me graduate today, I will never cheat again. And then all of a sudden, I hear them call my name, and I'm like, oh, snap, son! I walk up all nonchalant, like I'm supposed to be there. And to this day, I still have no idea what I got in that American history final, but it's a good thing I passed, because my fallback plan was to get homeschooled while I pursue my career as a child Disney star, and we already know how that story ends. I hate bullies. You hate bullies. Nobody likes bullies. And see, what sucks is it's hard to go to a teacher. Because if you go to the teacher and the teacher goes to that bully, guess what? That bully's gonna come at you 100 times harder. Plus, that's not how I was raised. My hood would never let me be no snitch. Me and my homies, we robbed a bank once. I got busted. Granted, it was on Grand Theft Auto. And yeah, I was only in jail for like 5 seconds, but still, I ain't no snitch. There was this kid, Jonathan. I was in 7th grade. He was in 9th grade. This dude would constantly harass me. Flick my ear, pull chairs off from underneath me when I'm trying to sit, punch me in the shoulder. One day in the hall, this dude hit me so hard in the back of the head, I legit forgot where I was at. Everybody was laughing at me like I was fighting back the tears. It was so embarrassing. I wanted to tell the teachers, but I ain't no snitch, okay? I did my nickel, and I ain't rat on nobody. And then halfway through the school year, we got this new kid named Austin. Austin was a pretty boy, and all the girls were in love with him. Jonathan ain't like that one bit. He took all that energy he was focusing on me and shifted it to Austin. After Jonathan stopped bullying me, like my mom would be driving me to school, and I'd be like, do you smell that, Mom? Do you smell that? You know what that smell is? It smells like freedom.
It smells like freedom.
The rest is just unwritten. It felt so good to come to school and not be bullied. One day I step out into the hall after class, and Jonathan has Austin pinned up against a locker. And Austin's like, if you hit me one more time, I'm gonna get my cousin to come over here tomorrow after school and kick your butt. And he goes to Robbinswood. We went to a private school, and Robbinswood was like the public school version of our private school. In private school teachers always use those scare tactics so you don't leave the private school and go to a public school. So we were all petrified of Robinswood kids because of all the brainwashing. Jonathan wasn't buying his bluff. I don't care. Get your cousin. Get your cousin and all his friends. I ain't scared of you. I ain't scared of him. I ain't scared of nobody. So the next day, school ends, and I step out the gym, and I see Jonathan sitting on the patio, and I'm like, let me just get comfortable. And then about 10 minutes later, guess who comes walking around the corner off the street?